This is the Boiler Breakdown. We are bringing you the men's final match from the Las Vegas PPA. Unfortunately, Ryan and I ended up losing this one, but lots of good coverage. And we're going to run through anywhere from about 8 to 12 points here and break some stuff down.
We are in the boiler room now.
Okay, we got Rye popping overheads.
There was a lot of space back there. It was tough to put the ball away, seemed like.
There's Stone with his famous block that always gets down.
Wow, how did you make that one work?
Okay, we're going to run this back here.
Let's see this really start here. Okay.
All right, so Rise popping overheads. There's nothing more deflating than this ball right here. Oh no, 14 feet away.
You come at it and
hang on real quick
how does he block
here.
that on a dime?
So I was kind of back there, was able to buy myself a little time, get myself out of trouble. But this block right here from Adam is
pretty
something
crazy.
that he did so stinking well. I'm going to run this here and go. It's got pace, gets down. I try to find that right shoulder. Okay, got myself out of trouble there, but it's a little dicey. It's a little dicey. Okay, so we're gonna run the second point here. All right, so we got Stone dropping a third. Look to go back behind deck.
Nice little reset dink by Deckel there. Dinking behind him, which you're always playing with fire in this match with this offense you earning.
Gosh, the guy's just an earning machine. Pop one up.
Got a little lucky that caught the tape there.
Missed the block. Disgusting. Make the block.
It's kind of your bread and butter there. Interesting that, for the viewers, as that point got going, Tyson stayed back. Maybe other people would have felt that need to panic and try to get into the kitchen, but you just had a little bit too much height on those balls to feel comfortable to take positioning in, and allowed you and Riley to stay staggered, which is something that you guys do, that modified I formation a bit at times,
Yeah.
maybe more than other teams.
Okay, Mac, if you want to run us through this here.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
let's have a look here. Okay, so you guys are in position of strength. Adam neutralizes here. Like I said, playing with fire, going back behind Deckel. Deckel goes back cross court. Probably a good pattern for you guys with Riley's two-handed topspin dink versus Deckel's slice, but
Yeah, for sure.
weren't able to stay in it too long throughout the match.
Yeah, and that ball that I popped up definitely hit the line, but Adam hit a push dink. Okay, drop one. And then just,
Yeah, I think that's the block that if you get that one down, that's probably the one that you're going to try to take positioning and get out of that staggered position, but not easy to do every single time, that's for sure.
Okay, drop a third over to Adam. Got that odd formation. Ryan and I like doing that. As Kyle just mentioned that. Watch this here. Boom.
It allows
Get
Riley,
that out.
It allows Riley to jump over, get in their sights, and pick balls off in the middle, which is what he's close to the best in the world at doing.
Yep. So again, show this again. I dropped the third. I'm actually naturally staying back. Something that if you go back and watch Mr. Yates and Johns from like 2018 to 2019
When they were
2 years.
when they were pretty dang dominant.
Kyle would do the exact same thing. Kyle would drop the third, naturally stay back. Ben moves in. Ben is acting like a shark, and he's looking to obviously guess and kind of poach and move at the right time. But there's something to be said when you have this odd formation or you have this disconnect, and Rye is kind of baiting Adam into either going at him, in which Adam probably doesn't want to do, or go back behind him, or go hard cross, in which, as we see, Rye takes off and ends up poaching here.
Yeah, it makes the hard cross play a risk, right? And I think what it does too is so many teams at all levels get stuck in transition because you hit a decent third shot drop, but opponents now are just wailing on their fourth balls, which make a really difficult block in mid-court. But what Adam has to do here, or has to think about doing, is if he wants to keep the ball away from Riley, really he's got to play a softer dink. That's the safety zone shot, which then you would have all the time in the world to come up and neutralize on your terms. So it takes away his aggression of just peppering at your feet as you're sitting there in transition.
Yeah, and I think something that we can touch on here is that if you feel like you have way too much traffic when you come in and you're staying back and staying as a unit, what about if you feel like your partner can beat your opponent head to head, but you guys have been trying to come up, but you're feeling too much traffic? What about like getting in their vision and forcing them to like take a little pace off of their fourth, which in turn obviously makes you feel less traffic as you come in. So
That's why some of those elite players can change the course of a match without even touching a ball, just because of their court positioning.
Presence, yeah, for sure.
It changes the shots on the other side of the court.
So let's say that added presence off of that disconnect, if you're feeling lots of traffic as you're in transition, can force your opponents to maybe second guess their fourth or their sixth, which in result will make you feel less traffic as you come in. And I kid you not, it makes life a whole lot easier when you have light traffic.
Yes, it does.
Okay,
that's a good point.
So fourth point here. Okay. I'm gonna boom.
Big old Deckel serve.
Okay, Deckel's obviously doing the same thing here, just like what Rye did.
Squeezing middle.
Yeah, I mean, Adam, for God's sakes.
You're wanting to find Adam's feet, but it's not that easy.
How many stinking balls?
God. His resets were on point.
Right. God. And honestly, too, that was probably one of the few times where I went at Deckel's.
The inside hip.
Inside hip. And look, and he was earning, and he's still, I mean, for gosh sakes. But, I mean, I think something to watch here is look at the defense by Stone. Deckel played a large portion of the court, and he was the aggressor. But got to give your hats off to Stone. The guy scrambled like there was no tomorrow.
Doing all the dirty work back there.
Cleaned up garbage. Cleaned up all that dirty garbage. Again, watch this. Rye goes at him. Again, block.
Goes back to the reset. And I don't mind this trigger pull on Deckel there. It's pretty impressive that he can have that good of hands leaning the wrong way, getting ready for an
And
earning.
to be honest, I'm pretty sure this ball was going out that I hit because my hands were late to getting up.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Bailed him out a little bit.
I mean, come on, don't be hitting out balls. Yeah, I don't know.
It's tough. I mean, look, he might have mishit it a little bit. Yeah, I would say normally that height you probably want to let go, but it just depends on how clean.
And there's something that we mentioned, something we always mention as we teach is don't think that your hands are slow. I mean, obviously there's certain times where you may realize that your hands are slow, but when you've sped up or when somebody drives at you and it's up a little higher, maybe it's like above chest level, and you feel like your hands are late to getting up. Yes, maybe your hands are slow. If it has topspin on it, or simply if it's flat and it's going through, you got to ask yourself, are my hands slow, or is this thing going out? Because there's a large portion of the time where you hit a kitchen speed up, the counter comes back in a hurry, it comes up high and you're trying to recounter, but it's up here and it's actually going out. You will never know until you let a couple go.
I've heard you teach on that. Like the moment you feel that you need to break technique is usually the point where that ball's going out.
For sure. So let's say, if you're looking to counter or recounter and you feel like your hands are fumbly or your hands aren't organized or you're having a break technique, please let that sucker go.
There's an easier way.
Okay. Boom.
Okay, next one here.
A lot of thirds over to Stone. Deckel was driving the living piss out of the ball, and his drive is pretty low with that engaged pursuit.
One of, if not the most powerful paddle out there these days.
Okay, love this camera angle. Got our wide angle going on. This angle's the best. That little,
I agree. You can
in.
see what people are doing with spin at the kitchen line.
Yep. You'll notice in this match there's a lot of right to right foot, there's. This makes sense. Go back here. So in this particular match, you'll see a lot of dinking with the person on the left looking to kind of dink up the line, but dink to the person on the right's inside foot. So there's a lot of, if there's two guys on the right on their inside left foot, there's a big gray tunnel on that particular spot in the court. Why? It's an uncomfortable inside out backhand, or it's just an uncomfortable backhand you have to hit. You see your partner moving in. And so, there's just a lot of chaos and a lot of added stirrup by finding that inside foot. If you go back to the Johns and Wright match, playing Stone and Barr in the semis, literally probably at least 60% of the dinks, the location was on the right side person's inside foot. A ton. Ton. And so you're getting pop-ups there. It's funny how at the highest level, how much activity there is with dinking towards that left foot.
No, it's funny. I mean, I would say even other matches where you've played, Adam and Deckel, it seems like the middle dink is a common thing. And it's partially because, I think because of Deckel. Because if you can kind of dare him, you can dare him to go a little too far, it might open up going back behind him. Also, when he can Ernie almost at any point, having that whole third of the left side of the court be kind of a danger zone, it makes you want to push those dinks a little bit more to a centralized location and more of an awkward or limiting ball for Adam and his offensive options than just putting it on his forehand.
For sure. Can run this here. Okay. Adam and I in our usual forehand to forehand battle.
Looks like Riley gets something to work with pretty
Adam,
soon here.
This is Adam and I's. This is not our first rodeo going forehand to forehand. I'll tell you what.
It's a common pattern.
If you watch the U.S. Open final, there's about there's at least 20 points in that particular match where it's over 50 balls dinking cross. So something that Adam is starting to do is starting to speed up a lot out of the air, and why a good portion of why they beat Wright and Johns is because Adam freaking went at him and tested Ben. I kid you not, he tested him. He tested him pretty early. Watch this, out of the air, goes back behind him. We've lost to this team a couple times this year, and I kid you not, Adam has been beating Rye in that pattern that used to never happen, and now it is.
Well, I think, for viewers out there, to me, I think this is one of the things that separates maybe like a 5-0 from a pro, is being able to, when you get that first pop-up, not necessarily finish the ball off, but be able to find locations with that. He was able to take some pace off and go back behind Riley just often enough to win, I would say, the majority of those exchanges when he was initiating out of the air.
For sure. And just like what K-Mac mentioned here too, it's not about the pace.
It's really not.
If you disguise well, you can speed up at lower paces, or you can speed up at a lower pace and look to find a better location. Adam does a great job of that. He mixes the pace up, chooses different locations. So you got to kind of ask yourself what sort of counterattacker is in front of you. If you feel like that counterattacker hits a lot of outballs, maybe someone like a Dave Weinbach, wink, wink. If you're playing someone like that, I would say, hey, speed up a little harder and a little higher and more towards the jugular.
Tempt him a little bit.
If you're playing somebody that is a more calculated counterattacker, they have better ball trajectory, they block a bit more, then you're going to have to be a bit more precise with your locations.
Well, if you look at the speed up too, he went to Riley's two-hander, which Riley had a big cut on, but because he took a little pace off of it,
he was early.
The ball got down, and then Riley was hitting low to high. If he would have hit that his full weight of shot, Riley probably would have clocked it back at him.
And I'm gonna ask you something here. Do you want to speed up to Riley's forehand, or do you want to speed up to that forehand that goes down, or do you want to speed up to his backhand that goes through you?
Exactly. I think the scouting report when Riley was newer on the scene was avoid that amazing two-handed backhand, and then people started realizing, wait a second, the forehand is the one that you really don't want any part of because it gets down. It's a simplified, shorter motion, and obviously his two-hander is great, but the forehand is the real game changer counterpunch.
And I mean,
he's thrown out a couple of fingers.
Oh, baby.
Couple of Matumbos
I saw at least 7. I saw at least 7 in about 4 matches in Vegas.
Riley knows how to make your ego feel about this.
He does.
He gets you either with the finger, or the one I love is
he does make your ego feel pretty small.
He doesn't make out calls, right? He's the only one I know that throws in the way out. Right? So he just twists the knife a little bit.
He may get that from Wright, and that is a perfect partnership for next year.
Are they planning on playing together?
They are.
Okay, I didn't know.
They are planning on playing together.
All right, so get ready for those way out.
It's all good. That's just the Rye special, baby. Gotta love him for that.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, drive at stone, punch, block, get in. Everybody's up
Eventually
and
able to
established.
neutralize. Kind of a different formation. You and Riley have not done a lot with you on the left and him on the right, but you guys mixed that up quite a bit this match.
I want to know, like, how good are these hops right here? How good? Either how good are the hops or how shitty is this lob?
Is your vertical better than a piece of toast?
Here we go. Let's see it. Where do you? Watch this. And I mean, look at the hops. That's terrible.
I'm not totally sure if the left foot
left a terrible lob.
I think that was a little bit of a present.
Stone,
right there.
thank you.
Thanks, Adam.
What a gentleman.
Nice guy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure just my left big toe got off the ground. Okay. Point number 8 here. You see me doing some work on the left, letting Rye know that,
and interesting, this is the point where I think for temporarily they switched to Adam to go cross with you and put Adam on the left as well. They didn't stay with this in the match, but
And ATP, come on, babe. Come
Adam
on.
giving you a little too much, and you taking advantage of it.
Stone. You're generous. He's a gentleman. He is a gentleman. Let's see here. So so we have. So I'm taking dinks out of the air, using a little top spin, dinking inside out. Adam takes one out of the air. So and I think. Let's go back here real quick.
Neither of you guys back up too much at the kitchen line. It seems like you're both willing to kind of hold your ground.
And I'm going to pause it right here. Boom. Okay, actually, go like that. Okay. So Adam just took that dink out of the air. Adam took that dink out of the air in his red zone.
Yep.
Okay. So as he takes that out of the air in his red zone, obviously it takes a high skill set to be able to control that ball when you're taking balls out of the air in your red zone. So as we see here, I hit a push dink over to Adam. Adam tries to take it out of the air. With that, that's when he gives me the opening. So we see, even at the pro level, we see pros, if they get a little too extended, they end up losing some control on their dink. And as we see here, Adam ends up dinking it too wide. Gives me license to pop this ATP, and I'll take that slice of the pie.
Kind of the other pro tip that I've heard is, when you're trying to recognize if an angled dink is going to open up enough to be able to go around the post, the closer the contact point is to the net from your opponent, the more likely that angle is to open up. If they're deeper or contacting outside the kitchen line, it certainly still could open up, but much less frequently. The closer you are to the net, the more extreme that angle is. So good recognition and execution to win that one off.
I like it. Okay, Ryan, let's see that serve. Okay, get that thing in there. Okay, the ball had a little junk on it. This is when it started getting windy.
Riley's,
look at this.
Closing.
Look at the D.
Clogging
You can't
middle.
get a ball past the Rye, man. Swing.
Countering from midcourt. It's all right.
A little mid-court counter.
Mix it up a little. Okay, leaves a little forehand.
I can't tell you how many.
Look at the resets.
God, Deckle, stop it. Stop it. I can't tell you how many stinking times I found Deckel's right hip, and the guy somehow found a forehand. Okay, let's run this again. Drop. Okay, Riley's just getting.
He's closing.
He's closing. Gets one down. Okay, this is when it gets interesting. Swing. Riley, look how much dirt is on that forehand slice dinker. Riley's
He's got a lot of backspin on that thing.
I mean,
he waits
that thing has got so much grease on it.
He keeps that thing very, very low.
But as we see here, so Rise push dink puts me in a position
Gives you
where
the lift.
Yeah, Adam pops it up, speed up. Adam, of course, gets one down. When does Adam not get one down? And then Deck will, for gosh sakes.
Yeah, and you guys were in control there. But yeah, Adam's resets, neutralized, and then that's just such a tough play. It seems like when you're cross court, that's the one time where you're safe to dink there, and the Deckel is the exception to the rule.
Well, and like this happens so many times too, where Adam's back scrambling. Deckel is like
fully clogged in the middle.
Right, he's clogged, and he's lurking. And if I try to be aggressive and like test Adam and go like give him a pickleball petty or find his shoelaces or find his red zone and go too deep, then Deckel comes in.
Right.
So that situation, like Deckel basically forced me to play soft and was like enhancing Adam's defense just by the added clog, Mm-hmm. So there's something to be said, like, if you can play a bigger role and look to poach a bit more and just play more middle when your partner's back and scrambling, it actually like enhances their defense. You know what I mean?
Because it limits your aggression.
It does.
Right?
It limits my aggression, and so I'm having to just kind of like dump balls in the kitchen, or I guess go cross court,
right, and just keep it down.
Yeah. So I think just something to be said, like if you're feeling traffic as you come in, or if your partner is back scrambling and they're having a hard time there, like you should be looking to poach and get in your opponent's vision just to make their defense, or to, I guess, maybe give them time to come up, or to force your opponents to second guess being aggressive in that scenario.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see, here's run it. Okay. Ernie, stop. Too many of those.
And it's funny, so to me, I mean, obviously we'd have to, Deckel played amazing, but one of the things you wouldn't think would work that I think you did about 3 times all successfugly was
Inside out dink.
speeding up at him cross court.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's leaning and looking to jump so much. Normally, for viewers that newer to the sport, normally when you're speeding up, you have more success attacking the person lined up in front of you, and you're maybe going to attack a little less often cross court because they've got more reaction time. But Deckel being as aggressive with his court positioning and looking to Ernie so often, it looked like you were able to catch him leaning the wrong way, speeding up cross court a few times. Obviously not on this one, but a few other points throughout the match. So maybe that's the ticket against Deckel. Maybe you speed up cross against him every now and then. Who knows?
Okay, let's see here. Got the big man serving, banging that thing in. Serves a little high. Just kidding. Look at that. Tweener. That, come on. You can't Ernie and hit tweeners.
He's bringing it all out.
He is. Man, I'll tell you what. I mean, this match was a complete highlight reel for Mr. Barr.
He earned this gold for sure.
He did. I mean, and Adam, don't get another one down. I've seen enough of it. Okay. Drive it deck. Rye comes in.
Little shake and bake.
Oh, the ball hits the tape.
You guys are in control. A little unlucky.
Oh, no. Look at the ball hits the tape again. It's a circus point. ATP.
And then another. Yeah.
I can't tell you how many points like that slipped out of our hands. It was weird. It was one of those matches where I felt like there were so many times where we were in control of the point. We would have a high ball, and whether it would hit the tape or Adam would play good defense or Deca would pinch, and so we can't be aggressive. Yeah, they did a good job of like not being in control of the point and kind of losing that gain, but like being able to neutralize, and how deflating that is when you're winning a lot of these battles mid-point and then you end up losing the point. You know what I mean? No,
deflating's a perfect word, and that's what great defense does, right? Is it makes
Sucks
you second guess, it makes you go for a little bit more, just have that voice in the back of your head saying, "What does it take to win a point?
What does it take?" So I'm run this again here. So little drive. Rye gets a high ball, top of the tape. And Adam looks to speed up, top of the tape, rolls over, ATP. Come on, Tyson. Yeah. Tyson, be better. Just okay is not okay.
Yeah, putting top spin on your push dinks is great, but it does open up that angle a little bit more, where you have to you run that risk of giving your opponent the ATP.
Okay, so we've got a few more left here. Okay, I don't think Adam missed a drop the whole match.
And like you said, seemed like you were mostly returning to Adam because you were a little worried about the big decal forehand drive. What a point.
Okay, so okay, look how much wind. So if you guys can see this here, so Adam hits this drop, and then look how it just literally takes off.
It's just swirling.
And then,
yeah,
slides over. Shape. All right, so we got Rye slinging that aggressive slice dink, pushing that thing cross. And so I think why Adam sped up there. So let's go back here.
Really had to put a little more air under that one.
Well, I think, and a tricky thing too is that, Ryan and I never play in this formation. Honestly, this is the first time in 2 years where we had to resort to me on the left, and I think I showed the world that I'm halfway decent on the left. But with that being said, we're fighting over middle balls, dude. I'm so used to being in a box on the right.
And Riley's so used to just clogging the middle and using his hand speed, but yeah. So
and obviously Rye's used to this formation, plays this formation with Catherine, has played this formation the last couple of years with his sister. Adam comes, and I don't know.
And if there's anything that you lose there, so Riley's fully clogging middle, right?
Right.
But the few shots he's hitting are backhands, right? When he's on the left and he clogs middle, we just talked about this. He's got a great two-hander, but the forehand's the one that really gets down and gets you guys ahead in the point. The backhand is more pace driven, and he's more susceptible to lifting that a little bit more, which puts you guys more at a disadvantage.
Okay, last point here. All right, we're at 8-10, game 2. Game 2 was a killer. We actually had a game point at 12-11 and then lose in 5. And so after we lost in 5, I was thinking about that game point, of course, in game 2. All right, here's some typical Newman.
Working the defense.
Newman gutty stuff. Block, Declan Ernie's.
Ernie's off the floor.
Okay, now we're in.
Okay.
And Adam missed that. Lot going on there.
Big point. When it's
big point. Yeah, and so this obviously brings us to 9-10. 9-10-1. 9-10-1. Okay, pop a
drive drop combo. Lifted your drop a little bit, so you guys are back defending.
Okay, but and I think we've talked about this before. Anytime you're back playing defense, and you don't have time to drop one in the kitchen, or you don't have time to be precise with your defense, sling up a lob, get back to the baseline, buy yourself some time. You can only offend if you have time. And so as we see here, we throw up a few lobs. Mm-hmm. Once they put a ball on us that doesn't have as much pace, then we dump it and we are in.
You're waiting for that right moment to take that risk, and that was the moment right there.
Dump one. Okay. Pop that one up. It was a little high bouncing, but we came in and crashed. I punched one back at Adam. Adam tried to go back behind Rye and ends up missing it wide. So I think a good example of turning D into O.
Little offense. And I think the location, it looks like Adam missed one that he had a shot at, but that's an awkward ball when your opponent's speeding up cross court, defending that right hip. There's usually a little bit more motion there on the forehand side, and he just lifted it just a little bit.
All right, that was the Boiler Room Breakdown by Mr. K-Mac and I.